Darn. So you guys just missed a lot. But this right here is how you do this is how you do the Morse code problem. You need this. You need this line of code. Obviously, it needs to be edited a little bit to match the Morse code and the alphabet, but this idea is exactly what you need. And I'll actually give you guys the list of the alphabet and the Morse code so you guys don't have to type it up yourself. So, but that'll be over the weekend. So you guys can put these sorts of things, the different methods we learn, as long as the end result of whatever code you have is what is needed, you're fine. So this whole math right here gives me an integer, and I need an integer to be an index, otherwise it won't work. Does that make sense? Okay. So index gives me the location of that item. If it's not in there, we get an error. And I think, I did this last year. Yeah, you can't do that. With dictionaries, you can actually, I think it's dictionaries, you can actually say, find it. If it's not there, tell them it's not. With lists, apparently you can't. You might be able to, I can't remember. I don't know if you can. The next thing, employees dot insert, I can determine where I want to put something in my list. So let's say Gabe. Let's say Gabe gets a job and he needs to be, for whatever reason, he needs to be after Mason. So what index is that going to be?
2.
So I want 0, 1. I want him to be at index 2. Oh, I screwed this up. It's backwards. It's location followed by what you want there. So now I have Chad, Mason, Gabe, Joanna, Jason, Thorin. Now I can do this same thing. If I want to put his wages in there, all I have to do is change the list. And Gabe, how much money do you want to make?
11.
So now with this code up, with this code up here that goes through both lists and displays the employee and how much they make, we now have Gabe. Everything else stays the same because Joanna, you were making 20 before, right? Yeah. Does that make sense? Questions? Concerns? Jack?
How would you make it so you could store the input of wages so that when you close it out, you can come back and like have the same thing?
I just haven't restarted the shell.
But like if you were to restart the shell,
I'd have to start over.
how would you make it so you don't have to start over?
I would save it in, I was actually thinking I should probably do that. I'll save it in our list practice.
No. I don't like if your boss was like, hey, make me an employee register thing. So when I put in the input, it won't disappear. It'll save into like.
Oh, like to another file?
Yeah, like so it's like, hey, I've made all this, I put it all in, but now I want to come back and check it.
It depends on how you want to save it. You can save it as a text file. You could save it as an Excel spreadsheet. And we learn how to do that in the advanced class, in the next class. You can always purchase the book and go through it in the book. They tell you how to do it. But basically, you open a text file, you write to it, and you close it. So there's just 3 steps. If you don't close it, it actually doesn't save your information. All right, so now we got to put Gabe in here. Then how much he makes. Sort. So we still have wages and employees. Now this is not something you don't want to use sort if you have lists that are like kind of dependent on each other, because if I were to do wages dot sort, now apparently Thorin makes 20, Jason makes 16, Joanna 15, Gabe 12, Mason and Chad both make 11. Obviously I don't want that. Sort just goes the smallest to biggest, and if you do this with employees, what do you think it does? Do we get an error or is it alphabetical?
Like just alphabetical.
Well, we didn't get an error, so puts it in using the ASCII values. I heard someone say that. It puts it in alphabetical order. So again, if you have 1,000 employees and you want them in alphabetical order, what I would do is not mess with the original list. I would do employees sorted equals employee dot sort. Uh-oh. Oh, that's just the command. You can't do that? That's lame. That's stupid. Okay. Sort is one of those weird ones where it's a command. So it's like doing x equals print. I always forget this, so I apologize. Like x equals print something. We don't ever want to do x equals a command, right? I mean, input's different, but with sort, employees. Let's start employees over. Let's get, doesn't look like we're gonna get to the video game today. Employees, 1, 2, 3, okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's not already in. So how would we sort this without disrupting our original list? Does anyone have any ideas? We essentially need to make a new list and then sort it. So how do we make a new list? How do we make a copy of a list? Employees, excuse me, sorted equals employees, like this, right? All right, and then what do we do? Dot sort. But I still have my original employees, which is not in alphabetical order. Make sense?
So you're slicing it, which means that it's copied. Is that what that's based on?
Yes, that is what this is doing. This is making a copy of the list, and then we are sorting the copied one. Notice my variable is what the value of that variable is. It's a sorted employees list. Index method sort. Remove. Let's say Chad gets fired. No, actually Chad gets promoted. He's no longer in my department and I don't need him anymore. He's not my employee. So what I would do, employees dot remove, and then I just type Chad. There is also delete. Delete is different because delete uses a number, and with that you do delete employees bracket 0. So delete will delete an index, remove removes a value. We're going to use delete, well, we're going to use pop, which I can't remember the difference between pop and delete. but in our video game. So delete, and I think you can use delete. Delete works the same way as pop, so, well, more or less. Gets rid, never mind. So remove, what does remove do? How do you use remove, Eric?
You type in the name of the person that you would want to remove.
Yeah, remove uses the value, or just remember, remove has a V in it, value, removes the value of the list, whereas delete deletes the index, and I guess delete index has an E. Delete needs a number. Yes.
So can you repeat that again? It does remove the value.
Remove removes the value. Yup. If it's there. If it's not there, you get an error.
And then delete removes an index.
Yes. And so if I do delete, index 100, again, I'm going to get an index error.
Okay.
So if it's not there, you get errors. And then reverse. What do you think reverse does? Employees.reverse. Reverses the order. Yeah. There is also employees.max. Wait, how do you use max again? There we go. Max. So Thorin is the furthest along in the alphabet. So he has the greatest ASCII value character. So that's why he's the greatest, or the max. Wages. So if you want to find the max or min of a list, you can just type literally the words max and min. You can also there are two ways to get the sum of a list. One is using a running total. So for LM in wages, X, let's do, for LM in wages, total plus equal LM. So I can do that way. I'm spending $85 an hour to pay you people. Or you could do sum of wages, which is a lot easier. So in your homework for one of the assignments, I believe, you will need to use that. Yeah, rainfall statistics and the magic square. Max, min, and sum. I added those to these useful built-in methods that you guys do have access in the student resources folder under the PowerPoints folder. So, do you guys have any questions so far? Again, a lot of this is just using copying lists. We did that. Processing lists. Yeah, that's basically all we need to do. Okay. Oh, Thorn.
Why are there empty parentheses after wages.sort and employees.reverse?
Oh, right here?
Yeah, why are there the empty parentheses?
Because it's a function, and a function needs parentheses. All right, so let's get our game out. I'm going to stop this video.